Now I would like to talk about the application of GSIM in Statistics Norway, SSB. So this is our ambition of modernization. On the top left, you can see our information providers. They send information into our new process-oriented production platform. Above that, we have a self-service workbench for management of production and data and our statistical analysis. In the beginning, you can set up your own production by specifying your needs and designing your production process. Of course, all of this is based on the GSBPM. Here we have shared and standardized data and metadata to be shared by all of SSB. And on the bottom right, we have our information consumers. National and international cooperation is also important. And beside our shared and standardized data and metadata, we have our information management. Our involvement with GSIM. Statistics Norway was one of the 17 organizations that was involved in the development of GSIM version 1.0 in 2012. So one of the first things we did was we translated the brochure, 2 pages, and the communication document, 10 pages, into Norwegian and began to communicate that in the organization. I mentioned in the introduction that there was an informal task force on metadata flows in the GSBPM, addressing about 20 GSIM information objects, and we contributed to that task force. And that is important work, and as I mentioned, that work is ongoing for phase 5 this year, and I hope to see it going further. But also in Statistics Norway, we've been doing a similar mapping exercise. We've made frequent contributions to the GSIM discussion forum, and I encourage everyone else to do that. If you have a question, what is a fiscal unit? Put it in there, get it discussed, get some answers to your questions. It's quite a lot of activity in there, and I would encourage you to do it when you have a question, when you have a comment, put it in there. Don't wait for any annual review process, but just put it out there. We also contributed, there's an annex to the GSIM version 1.1 on the statistical classification model. We contributed to the annex, and we've contributed to the modeling of the statistical classifications in version 1.1. And an application of our GSIM version 1.1 was in the Norwegian Microdata.no project. I might get some time to talk about that later, we'll see. But anyway, it's all about making registered data accessible for researchers. All the metadata at the moment is in Norwegian, but we're hoping to get funding to put it out there in English also. We'll see if we succeed. Now, GSIM and Statistics Norway, our vision. And initially when I was communicating this vision, I was saying GSIM can lead to. But for the past 2 years, I've been changing it. I'm now saying that GSIM shall lead to. So our vision in our modernization work is that the GSIM shall lead to a foundation for standardized metadata throughout all our systems. Shall lead to a standardized framework for consistent and coherent design of statistical production. We're putting more emphasis on the design now so that we can reuse people's designs. It shall lead to increased sharing of methods, components, processes, data, and metadata. Everything you need to modernize your organization. And it shall lead to improved communication between different roles in statistical production. And at the moment we have producers of statistics, we have methodology advisors, we have information collectors, IT specialists, and because there's rather a large effort in modernising Statistics Norway, we've got quite a lot of external consultants. And when the external consultants hear from one division, we need a system for managing interview objects, and for another division, we need a system for managing reporters. It's very nice that the external consultants then hear, we need a system for information providers. So we don't end up with, 5, 6 different systems when actually we're all talking about the same thing. We want to be able to contact them. We want to be able to remind them that they're due to deliver. So please, not so many tailor-made systems for different words, but common components. So what did we do? If you're going to be starting with information modeling in your organization, we started with GSIM. We introduced GSIM to all interested parties, and that is ongoing. At the moment, there's quite a few interested parties sitting in the meeting room adjacent to my meeting room, where they are sitting and being introduced to GSIM as well. So this is an ongoing activity. We mapped GSIM to shared SSB systems to show that it does cover the current systems in SSB. We tried out GSIM on the Norwegian central population and business registers, also to show when needs come in-house, where will they end up? Where can we reuse components, methods, processes for this information? And we made our own information model, SSB's information model, with information objects of interest for several phases in our business process model. So you don't have to eat the whole model in one go. You can choose what you want to concentrate on. So what we did was we reduced the current 129 information objects, and we're currently working on 110 of those, which we've translated the terms, translated the definitions, and we've adapted the explanatory text to usage in SSB. So we mention what synonyms might be used in different divisions in SSB. So here was our metadata portal, and that was made a few years ago. This one is in English, and the link to the web page is there. And I'm showing the different areas in order of development. So the oldest one was our file description system. It's only available, the content is only available inside an SSB. The basic that is your data structures in your GSIM information objects. The next thing we developed was statistical registers, are shown in our metadata portal as registered descriptions available internally. The third system was for statistical classifications, and there we based it on the Neuchâtel model at that time in collaboration with Statistics Denmark. Both Norway and Denmark developed the system together. And on our metadata portal, that's under statistical classifications. The content will be shown there. The next thing we developed was a system for variables and represented variables, where, it's a represented variable if you can see it's connected to a code list or a classification. And on our metadata portal, that's called variable definitions. Unit type, a GSIM information object, we show as statistical units currently. And then we have codeless, that's the last thing to be developed. And in our portal, just called codeless. And the ambition here would be that, in some years, we'll just make this into an SSB information modeling portal where we'll be able to see all 120 information objects, and you'll be able to click on them and see what we have, and you'll be able to navigate from one object to another object and see the relationships between them. So that would be the ambition, but of course we're not there yet. So here, for example, in our metadata portal, we have under the section on definitions, we have something we wrote concepts. And under concepts, we had 20 key terms and definitions. We said, what is a variable? What is statistical register? All those things. And that took a long time to get those terms and definitions agreed by our top management. So, hey, now, if you use GSIM, translate it into your own language, you get 129 key terms and definitions. So I'm looking forward to being able to connect that bit to our GSIM glossary in Norwegian. But in the meantime, we have 20 there, which we have agreed on. And then, as I mentioned, under variable definitions, we've got, for example, the represented variable, the country background, which is classification of country and citizenship in population statistics. So you can see that must be a represented variable. We're showing the name and definition of the variable. We're showing that it's connected to a unit type person, and then it's connected to an enumerated value domain, which happens to be a statistical classification. Now, this slide is a wee bit messy, but this is trying to address the question, can you use GSIM for developing metadata systems? For example, we map GSIM version 1.0 to microdata.no. It was used as a basis for system design in 2014. That system is in production and is being used by researchers today. And, there's a lot of details in there, but what you can see is it's heavily based on the yellow structures group and the green concepts group. That was 2014. And then we mapped GSIM to statistical classifications, and we made a new system. The original system developed by Denmark and Norway, we wanted to upgrade it. So what we did there was we then employed an external consultant to come in and build a new system for us. So that was in 2015. We designed our new system. Most of the content we could just move from the old system to the new one, and based on our GSIM to update an existing system. Another example, mapping from GSIM to data resource, and this was the one with data structures and register descriptions. That one was built in 1995. And we can see that we can map GSIM, the yellow and green groups, and a little bit from the red. From the red group, the exchange group regarding administrative registers and statistical registers. And then the fourth example was mapping the GSIM to our municipality state reporting, which says what are municipalities and counties, what are they using their money on? Are they spending it on childcare? Are they spending it on schools? What are they doing with their money? And then they report to the government on what they're using the money for. And yeah, we used GSIM as a basis for system design in 2015. And that system was up and running last year and will continue to run. And what's interesting here is you see there's quite a few blue information objects. What's going on there is that in that system, we use the VTL, the Validation Transformation Language, and we used several of the business information objects to get that system up and running and trace what was happening to the data underway from when it came into Statistics Norway and when it was published out on our webpage. So that is one of our most modern systems, both the classifications, the upgrade, and this thing about the municipality state reporting. So an easy conclusion from the mapping is that GSIM can be used to validate existing systems, and it can be used to design new systems. When I say validate existing systems, you can map it to existing systems, and then you could decide, oh, we've got an overlap here. Maybe we should make all our code lists, for example, in one common system instead of having it distributed over at least 4 different systems, which is what we had. So now we have one common system for code lists. And this was just a picture of our common data store, where on the right-hand side, we document our data, different parts of our business process. We get raw data in, we structure it and standardize it to input data, and then we process the data, processing not just for our own statistics, but also for everyone else in SSB. So it's got to be well documented to get reused. And then we have our statistical data, of which a subset then gets communicated on our website. Of course, a subset because of statistical disclosure reasons. In the middle, we have all these colorful metadata information objects. And on the left, it's those population registers, our business register, our cadastre, our population register as well. Those are the free systems that have the greatest reuse in Statistics Norway. And then just building on what also you saw in the structures group, here's an example for a data structure. From the green group, you've got your unit types, person and family. You've got your represented variables, value, family type, has code list associated with it. Gender, marital status, they all have value domains associated with them. And then looking at the data structure components, you've got identifiers on your status date, and family number and person ID, and then you're measuring your family income, family type, gender, marital status, and you might have an attribute component saying something about where did the data come from and what is the quality of that data. So for example, in this particular case, you can see that our data source was our population register, and the data quality coming from the population register is good. Then moving on to our exchange group. Up on the top left, you have all our information providers using different exchange channels to send information to Statistics Norway. And down on the bottom right, you've got all our information consumers consuming our information in via different channels. So for example, in the exchange group, you have got an administrative register. The most important ones for us were our population registers, central population register, which you've got the unit types person and family. Got your business register with unit types business and enterprise. And we've got the cadastre, where the unit types are the ground property and building. We take them into Statistics Norway, and in addition to those unit types, we make our household unit type, we make establishments, and we indicate dwellings. Then those are our statistical registers made inside in Statistics Norway. An example of what you could disseminate out of your organization is a product in the Exchange Group, and it's a package of content that can be disseminated as a whole. And you can have static products, paper publications. You can have dynamic products in which the information consumer can decide themselves what they want to look at. So let's have a look at some of those. For example, the dynamic product, quite a few people have a bank of statistics that they publish on their website. And for example, here we have information in the labour force survey. You can choose that's the subject you want to look at. Employees in the main job by pattern of working time, sex and industry from 2008 to 2018. But then the information consumer is not interested in all that. What they want to do is they just want to look at percent for employees. They want to look at those working ordinary hours and outside of ordinary hours. They want to look at the distribution for males and females. They want to look at a particular part of the industry, standard industrial classification from 2007, and they only want to look at primary industry, manufacturing and quarrying, and they only want to look at 2016 to 2018. This is an example of a dynamic product, and then of course there's your data. You make the table and you have your data there. And you can change the presentation of your data. Let's see, someone wanted to see, somebody wanted us to use the cursor to point things. Here we go. Here you can change the presentation, you can rotate the table, do different things to your table, and then you've got the same product, it's just a different presentation. Microdata.no, I mentioned that we also use GSIM to build this system. And unfortunately, it's only available in Norwegian at present, but we have got funding this year. So we do hope to make it available also in English. And it makes it easier to analyze register data. Researchers and students, particularly master students, can process and analyze all available register variables. Data is available in the population, education, income, labour market, and welfare benefits. That's currently in the system. Institutions that want to use the system sign an agreement, a provision agreement with Statistics Norway, and then they themselves manage their own users. The solution has an anonymization interface with embedded privacy protection. So what happens here is that we use the metadata. So a researcher sits there choosing the metadata and then works on the metadata to make their own analysis. They don't ever see the actual data, they only see the results of the analysis. That was it for me from GSIM application in Statistics Norway. And I know that particularly Australia had some questions about versioning. And what I would like to say is that there are several, if you download this presentation, there are several hidden slides in which there is more detailed technical information. So 2 of the hidden slides are our physical model behind these systems. So I would encourage anybody who would like more details to download the presentation, look at the hidden slides, and then, please get in touch and we'll answer your questions as best as we can. Thank you.